there's like, I don't know that I have a personal definition. I think like I relate to peace in all the different ways that our culture relates to peace. There's definitely like tactical nonviolence, which I study, which is about like the manipulation of nonviolent tactics, which maybe could further us towards peace by the removal of violence. I think that's part of a definition, is like the absence of violence in our society. And I think like tactical nonviolence, things like strikes and like protests, signs, things like that, are very helpful towards like creating populist movements, which I think move us towards a more equitable society, which I would also include in a definition of peace. I think that the way that peace holds space in our society, or like the way that we societally define it, is in terms it almost represents sort of a utopian vision of, I would say, the absence of violence, but also of like equity and opportunity and the lack of oppression. So I think that like in order to address peace, there are a lot of like smaller things that we need to be working on in terms of like different oppressions that folks face, and like in terms of like state power and capitalism, and like the forces that we feel in our society that like keep us from expressing ourselves. I think that peace means equal access for folks. I think accessibility comes under that. And so when people like use the word peace in substitute of like actual like tactical action or like movements, I think for me personally it often rings a little hollow, because it's so often used as sort of this vague concept that doesn't necessarily reflect any desire for like movement or like understanding of like the things in our society that are actually reinforcing violence.